G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for a quick Grim Dawn news update and some rampant speculation. Let's get the fun stuff out of the way first, and start with the speculation. For those of you who don't lurk on the official Crate forums or the Grim Dawn Reddit, you may have missed this, so I'll go over what's happened quickly. Reddit user Zantai, who is listed as a Crate employee, a designer, on the official Crate forums, has been posting teasers on Reddit, all to do with the number 10, hence the thumbnail and this picture here. So this first meme was posted on the 5th of August with no explanation given. People were suggesting that perhaps there might be an announcement on the 10th of August. Someone suggested that the next content update might feature Sesame Street characters, or perhaps add 10 new levels of progression, and one handsome fellow even suggested that it might be the size of Zantai's underwear, or his performance rating out of 11. This second picture here is the one of the aliens meme guy from the History Channel. Again, we've got the number 10 with no explanation given, and again, speculation is rampant. This was posted on the 6th of August, so people were still thinking it might be an announcement that there was something being announced on the 10th. Someone else suggested a 10-year anniversary for Grim Dawn. Another user thought maybe there would be a 10th mastery added, and other suggestions included a Torment 10 difficulty being added, or the number of pairs of socks that Zantai received for his birthday. This third meme picture was released on the 11th of August and includes the numbers 7, 8, 9, and 10, with 10 as the Gigabrain number. This post is titled, "They Said It Was Impossible." So everyone knew at this point that it had nothing to do with the 10th of August, as this was posted on the 11th. New speculation included adding 10 new devotions, reducing item slots down to 10, adding up to 10 stash pages. Now, by this point, I'm thinking it's a new mastery, because the base game had 6, 7 and 8 were added with Ashes of Malmo, and 9 was added with Forgotten Gods, which would leave 10 as a new mastery, potentially with a new expansion, or maybe just as a standalone mastery DLC. Then 3 hours ago at time of recording, Zantai posted this picture, asking if the number 45 is 10, and I'm now 100% convinced that it's a new mastery. With 9 masteries, we had 36 potential combinations, and adding a 10th would bring us to 45 combinations. Check my math if you like, or just take my word for it. Now this is just speculation for now, but there's a live stream with the Grim Dawn team on the 29th of August. They will be talking about the new thing, and maybe announcing a new expansion, a new DLC, a new mastery, we don't know. Now, this is where the speculation ends, and the news and opinion part of this video starts. This is Grim Misadventure number 176, titled So, the New Thing. Now these are basically dev blogs that the Grim Dawn staff post occasionally. This one was posted on July 22nd, so we knew all this before the memes started. I'm going to go through this. I'm not going to read the whole thing out. You can read it on your own time if you wish, but I will highlight the important parts. So Grim Dawn version 1.2 is going to be entering the public playtest later in summer, with an expected release in the late summer, early fall. This update is a big one. Gone through thousands of data entries to bring you quality of life improvements. Now that's the main part of this. So they promise that they will be implementing some of the outdated Grim Internals utility in this patch update, and the features that they're planning to implement are disabling the day-night cycle, disabling fog, disable cooldown counters on the quickbar, auto pickup radius can now be increased, new visual alerts for various item drops. In addition, monster infrequents will be marked with an icon to separate them from standard rare items. I really like this. New options for monster health bars, including thicker visuals and an option to display percent values and active debuffs. This one I don't really care. I'll have to play with it and see if it really makes a difference, but the current options are fine, and I guess having more options is always good. They're also planning on improving boss runs in the future, though that will not be coming in version 1.2. So this will come in the form of better shortcuts, but also making the bosses more lucrative and enjoyable. They do say that teleporting directly to the boss room, which is one of the features of Grim Internals, is basically cheating and they're not including it. I personally think this is a really good idea. Someone else will be along to mod this for those of you who want to be able to teleport directly to the bosses. Personally, I dislike anything that even smells like it might be related to cheating. Every time I have cheated in a video game, that video game quickly became boring and it killed the game for me. So I'm very glad they're not adding that in. So one change they're planning to make is with drop rates. This paragraph basically means that bosses who have a non-legendary monster infrequent drop will always drop it. So just as one quick example, Cronley will always drop his ring, Krieg will always drop his mace and his shield. I'm okay with this because those monster infrequents, while they are generally build enabling, the base item on its own is not enough. You need to have at least decent affixes for it to be worth using. So this will cut down on farming a little bit. It will make it a bit easier, but it's not going to just give you the item on a silver platter. So next up, the other half of this update, in addition to the usual round of balancing and bug fixes, we are planning more. Okay, so you will be able to play the entirety of the game up to level cap on the difficulty that's enjoyable to you. To support this, level scaling will be updated on normal and elite difficulty. Many areas on normal difficulty will scale to level 100, elite will go to 100 in all areas, and the difference between the difficulties will be basically they will be harder and you will get better loot and more XP on higher difficulties. I'm kind of not sure how I feel about this one. On the one hand, if you want to play in normal, go play in normal, it's fine. On the other hand, this does trivialize some achievements, which I was already not happy with because, for example, the achievement for killing the Ravager can be done on normal difficulty with a level 100 character. You literally walk up to him, kill him in 5-10 seconds, and there you go, achievement done. So I do think it trivializes a lot of the achievements. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to argue with letting people just play it how they want to. So I'm not sure how I feel about this one. My initial reaction was, I hate this, it's bad, stop it. But upon reflection, I'm kind of okay with it. I'm still not sure about that. So let me know in the comments how you feel about this one, if you even care. This might be a complete non-issue to some people, and I know some people prefer to play on easier difficulties just for, I don't know, reducing stress. If this game is how you cool off at the end of the day and you don't want to be worried about potentially dying or whatever, then maybe this is really good for you. Let me know. And next point. Toggled buff effects will be automatically toggled on and no longer need to be on the skill bar. This one is huge. Every time I restart a session, if I'm, for example, I'm farming Krieg for his mace, I load into the game, I have 7 or 8 different buffs I have to turn on, I have a whole bunch of pets I need to summon, although they don't mention pets, but a whole bunch of buffs that I don't need to toggle on anymore. They don't need to be on the skill bar anymore. That frees up basically the entire second bar for most of my characters. This is unvarnished good. There is, I mean, assuming I'm not overlooking something, there is no downside to this. Toggled skills with energy costs will have those costs removed. I don't think this really matters. A toggle skill with energy costs, so for example, Maven's Sphere will cost you, 10% of your mana to use, and nobody cares. The only mana point that matters is the last one. If you're able to keep casting, then you're fine. So that one's fine. Anyone that has 2 exclusive skills learned on their character will want to pick one though, or the game will choose for you. That's fine. They're exclusive skills, you should only be able to have one, and it seems like that's what's going on there, so that's fine. You will be able to disable visuals for toggled buffs in the game options to improve visual clarity on your character and to show off all that gear. For me, I don't care. More options is good, but this doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's very, very rare that I will be zoomed in on any character, and I kind of like the visual effects anyway, so I'll probably leave them on. This one I'm not happy with this one, but I'll explain why in a minute. So the nullification mechanic, for example arcane heroes, will be overhauled. It will purge all temporary buffs and disable toggle buffs for 2 seconds. No more fumbling through your skill bars to turn auras back on. Right, I don't like this one. And here's why. This number is too small. I'm okay with it turning all your buffs back on because I do think that in the middle of the fight, you failed a skill check and all your buffs are gone. So you do have to swap to your second hotbar, put all your buttons back on all the time you're dodging whatever did it to you. I think 2 seconds is not long enough because at the end of the day, you failed to see the giant blue glowing monster, so that's failure number 1. You failed to get out of the way of the giant purple slow moving projectile, that's failure number 2. And then you failed to disengage for long enough to put them back all on and you died, so that's failure number 3, potentially. I think this is an okay change, but this number needs to be bigger. If you're dying to arcane heroes, you're doing several things wrong. And I'm okay with people dying to arcane heroes because I have died to them, but every single time it was because I either A, failed to spot them, or B, failed to get out of the way of the massive glowy purple, very slow moving ball. So, yeah, I don't like this one. I would prefer this one to either, delete the whole change or make this, 5, 6, 10 seconds, something like that. A little bit longer, so there's actually some consequences, I guess, for failing 2 skill checks, basically. 2 seconds is not a lot of time. A lot of people will now basically just ignore arcane heroes, and a lot of monsters, the time in between their swings is long enough that it is possible you will have all your buffs stripped after they hit you. So they hit you, you lose all your buffs, 2 seconds passes, all your buffs come back, and then they hit you again. I don't think this is a good change. Either, if you're not happy with how it is, either make this longer so there are actually some consequences for screwing up, or remove arcane heroes, because this makes arcane heroes a complete non-issue. Even with no buffs, I've never had a character die in less than 2 seconds. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this one. I'm not a fan, but moving on. For the modders, that's not really anything to do with me. More options for modders, can't complain. Pets will default to aggressive stance rather than normal. This setting can still be toggled on a pet-by-pet basis as desired. Now, this one is good. So, the different pet stances, as far as I know, only really dictate their leash range. So, for example, if you have them on aggressive, they will attack things towards the edge of your screen. If you have them on the normal, it'll be sort of a circle in the middle. And if you have them on defensive, they will stay quite close to you. As far as I know, that's the only difference. The thing about this that I'm not sure of is pets like the raised skeletons on the Necromancer actually don't show up in the top corner with the other pets. They show up on your bar down here, and they don't have a stance. So if they are going to be set to aggressive, so they will actually attack things at the same range as all the other pets, that's amazing. If they are still going to be left on the normal stance, then this change is still good, because I can't think of any reason why you would not want every single pet you have to be aggressive. But if the raised skeletons are being left as an icon on your hotbar that you can't change, they don't have stances, then this is minor quality of life to stop me from having to change a couple of pets from regular to aggressive at the start of a session. Good, but more information needed, and yeah, we'll see on the raised skeletons section. You'll be able to select your desired main menu theme in the game options. Personally, don't care, but yeah, this is a good thing. I think people are going to have preferences for which main menu theme they want, and being able to choose them instead of having to go into the game files to do it is a good thing. And obviously, more is always good. As for what's beyond version 1.2, I'm not saying there might be something more in the future, but maybe I am saying there's something more in the future. And then there is this picture with snow variety. Now, right at the moment, there's not a whole lot of snow in the game. So, new expansion? New DLC? Do we know anything about this class? Can I make this bigger? That's the real question. Can we zoom in? This looks like it's the occultist skill possession, and that is obviously the bird. So this is an occultist, so this is not a new class, or at least occultist is not a new class, so we'll see. We don't know beyond that, but this does bring us back to the earlier speculation about new thing being an expansion or a DLC on the on the level of Forgotten Gods or maybe Ashes of Malmo. 2 or 3 new acts would be really good. A 10th mastery. I'm convinced that these 2 memes here, I'm convinced that these are confirmation that there is a 10th mastery on the way. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there is another way that you can interpret the number 45, but the obvious one is just 10 classes will have 45 different mastery combinations. But I guess we will find out in 5 days. That was all I had for you, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one, and goodbye for now.